Welcome to the Pool Nation Podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John J.J. Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. This week, we have a special episode, the best of. Zach and I had the pleasure of going out to Fort Lauderdale. We were invited to the two-day event at the International Swimming Hall of Fame, and we met some amazing people out there. Can't wait to share some of the stories with everybody. So we will be back next week at our normal time, and we will share then. Hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll catch you next week. Today we are in studio, so we are with the Cannonball King himself, Mr. Spider.
What's up, y'all? I got to shout out to all these guys for being here before you were, Edgar.
I know. I had a plan, Spider. I had a plan. But talk about efficiency and people being ahead of the curve, right?
There's a reason they're in the positions they're in.
Yeah. Noticed that one already. So anyways, today we're talking to Logan. We're talking to Jeff, Grayson, Chris, Isaac, and we have Clayton over in the timeout chair over there. And they're with Heritage Pool Supply, and we're super excited to talk to them and spill some tea that we've been holding back for a little while. Mr. JJ, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing. I had a weird night last night. Mama wasn't feeling too well, so she went to bed early, so I went to lay down early as well. And this is probably the first time in a decade that I laid in bed at 8 o'clock at night. And I ended up falling asleep, which was a mistake because then I wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning or 1:20 in the morning, wide awake, ready to rock and roll. And I'm trying to decide what to do. I'm like, I can't go. I tried going back to bed, but I couldn't. So I stayed up for like 3 hours doing some work, went back to bed at 4:30 in the morning, and then got up again at 5:30 in the morning and went through the wake up process twice today. And I'm a little weird, but I'm feeling relaxed. I think I got more sleep than I've gotten in the past 6 months. So actually, I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking. Looking forward to this podcast. Thank you guys for coming down to the studio. I really wish I could be there. I heard you guys had a blast. Really enjoyed the videos that you guys shot too. So just looking forward to talking to the gentlemen that are making it happen at the branches out there. We like to have a good variety of guests on our podcast, everywhere from pool pros to execs, presidents, etc. But it's always my favorite when we talk to the guys that are behind the counter and people that are out there fighting the good fight with us every single day. It's always nice to hear their perspective. So I'm looking forward to the conversation today for sure.
You know, it wasn't until I posted about it yesterday that I thought about it, John. In 4 years, and we never had anybody from the other side of the counter.
I know. And again, it's one of the things in the industry that I think that we're trying to break down those barriers or break down those walls, because there's always some form of something between the service professionals, and you got builders, and then you have distribution, and then you have retail. But we all forget that we're all, a part of the same team when you really think about it. And we get lost in our own little world as service guys and gals out there, that we forget about all the important pieces that are there working in the background, making things happen for us, and how important they are, in our business as service professionals. So to have branch managers and have distribution, the people on the ground level making it happen for us day to day, I think it's long overdue. So that was one of the reasons why I was so excited about having this podcast, because it's great to hear from them, right?
Yep.
Because they affect us in many ways, and likewise we do with them. So the better the alliance and the better understanding we have between each other, I think the better we'll do as an industry as a whole.
Absolutely. Mr. Logan, good
Yes,
morning.
sir. Good morning. I've never been better. Happy to be alive.
Yeah.
Happy to be here. I was in a car wreck. I got hit. Wasn't in a wreck, but we made it.
And that was first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Headed over here.
Yeah.
Oh, John, we're starting off
Are you
on the
kidding
wrong
me?
foot.
Really?
Yeah, he
So-
showed me the picture. He got sideswiped.
He still made it there before you.
And he's still
I
beating
still
me here.
beat him
Yeah. That is
Well, I'm glad you're
absolute-
okay, brother.
Yes,
That's crazy.
happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jeff, good morning.
Good morning, Edgar.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thanks yesterday for the spa day. Appreciate it. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Grayson, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's going great.
Yeah. I actually listened to about 7 or 8 Matthew McConaughey interviews to prepare for this, so I hope a little bit of that translates on the podcast today.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's how it is.
It's Austin, Texas for you, so.
I am going to pick on Grayson right off the bat because he listened to, who did you listen to? Go ahead, say his name. Who did you listen to? Matthew
McConaughey.
And then what is he a big fan of?
He's a big fan of UT.
And then what color shirt are you wearing?
I know where this is going. Orange shirt from Austin, living in Austin, yeah.
So anyways, OU red.
Yeah.
Boomer.
Hey, I would still put it on for my district, right?
Boomer Sooner, right?
Boomer Sooner all day,
Yeah.
even though I'm in Austin.
That orange blood's starting to get in his system.
Hey, we're in enemy territory, but we ride or die for them.
Did you wear the kind of color shirt because you thought you were coming into the Dallas area, so you're like, I need to blend in?
I was going to wear a Heritage or TPS polo today, but I actually used both of my clean ones yesterday doing the photo shoots, so this is what we got stuck with today.
Gotcha. Just had to give you a hard time. That's all.
okay.
That's all.
That's okay.
So, Chris, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. It's been a scenic 5-hour drive over here, and I'm very thrilled to be here with you guys and given the opportunity to do what we're going to be doing today.
Super excited that you're up here. You're probably the furthest out, right?
I believe so.
Right?
Either Isaac or I, between the two.
Houston, 4 hours.
You're about 4
hours, yeah.
San Antonio's a
4.5.
little bit out there. And Mr. Isaac, Mr. TikTok famous,
That's
Mr.
right,
Isaac.
That's right. Signing autographs and
I-
all that. And so, good morning. Thanks for having us. This is pretty cool. I feel like I need to pop out my radio voice or something like Clayton, you know?
Right?
Like, hey, back to the traffic. John, so I got a story for you.
He doesn't know, yeah. John, can I cue it up?
Cue it up.
Do you recognize Isaac? You have both been in the same car somewhere.
He looks very familiar. And when I saw him on the video, I was like, where do I know him from? But I don't, in the same car together?
In the same car, bro.
Yeah.
Did we go out to dinner once?
So, yes.
Yes and no.
Steakhouse?
No. A few years ago, we were in Mexico with Hassa on a trip.
Look at John's face.
It was in Cancun,
Yes.
and we got on the same shuttle together when we landed. My wife and I, and your wife.
100%. I remember.
What a small world.
Yeah.
Well, good to see you again.
Yeah,
brother.
for sure, man.
The
See,
problem-
we go back.
The problem is he asked you for a picture and you said no and you walked
said-
away and you just kind of shook your head like that. No.
I would have never.
Hey, now he's going to want a picture with you.
Now, I was like,
TikTok.
it's too late now.
Now he's TikTok
I
famous.
know.
Which, by the way, all the comments are telling me that I had it coming
Yeah.
with the fall. So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I
this is
appreciate you
hilarious,
guys.
yeah.
It was last minute, which, by the way, we have Clayton sitting over in the timeout chair over here. Clayton, good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. This is a fun place to be.
Look at John.
You can't see me. It's like the voice from above. And I'm fighting, interjecting, and picking on these guys, but I think I'll let them talk most of the time. But
That's also known as the boo mic, so feel free.
Yeah, that is also known as the boo mic. We have somebody sit there, and when we do something bad, they're like, boo.
okay, I'll keep that in mind.
The only problem
I
is
think Clayton's a perfect fit for that. All right.
All right. There you go.
Perfect.
Grayson's also wearing orange for Home Depot. Don't let him forget it.
good comeback.
So,
Yeah.
That's what you should have hit me with, and then I just would have been like, never mind.
Yeah.
started over again.
I was thinking about it, but then we just figured I'd go roll along with the joke. So
Gotcha. Hey, guys, we really appreciate you guys coming on. We appreciate your partnership with Heritage and with us. And this is something that we kind of threw a curveball there at Clayton at the last minute. In typical Heritage fashion, it's like, hey, we have an idea. And they're like, we're in. As soon as we finish saying, I have an idea, they don't care what the idea is. They're like, we're in. And so we're really excited to have you guys on. I really enjoyed spending a lot of time with you guys yesterday, hearing your stories, obviously talking behind the counter, which we hadn't done before. And I got home last night and I was just so fired up and I was going 100 miles an hour. And my wife turns to me and she goes, you got to stop fanboying a little bit. Like, you've been talking for the last 45 minutes about all these guys, about the podcast and all that kind of stuff. And I called John as well. Just really excited to hear. You guys are obviously a lot younger than us, but the perspective that you have on the industry, what you guys are trying to do with Heritage, but also at your stores for your customers. So excited to get into that story and get your story for each one of you. So, Mr. JJ, you ready?
Let's rock and roll,
Let's
baby.
rock and roll. All right. So, Logan, I'm going to start with you. All right. And you obviously are now with Heritage, and you're from Texas. You're originally from Idaho, but you've been here in Texas for a while, and you transitioned from construction management to the pool industry without a lot of experience from the distribution or any of that side of the industry. What were some of the biggest things that you had to overcome in that transition? And then how did you overcome those?
So yeah, I was born and raised in Nampa, Idaho. Spent all my life there, all my friends, all my family. And I got into construction actually in the woodshop class at high school. So I've always had a desire for construction, building things, seeing things transform. And through that, I was able to land a job with a commercial contractor up there building student union buildings, hospitals, skyscrapers, just all the commercial buildings. And so then moving down here, I knew nothing about swimming pools besides how to swim in one. I didn't know what a skimmer was. I didn't know what main drains were. I didn't know what tile really was. I didn't know any of it. Coping was a foreign word to me. So in 2019, I moved down here and I started with company Foley Pools. And I just started learning the basics. I started doing startups and just learning the basics of water chemistry and just the equipment and the service side of things and how to maneuver the panels and just the different parts of the equipment with them. And then into project management, started building pools, which was always been my passion to build things. So that was really what was exciting. The biggest challenge, I think, and a lot of pool builders can agree, is the homeowners. Homeowners are challenging because every homeowner is unique. Every homeowner's got different expectations, different projects. Everything about the pool industry is custom. Whereas commercial, it's very cookie cutter. It's about 1,000 blueprints, but it's pretty cookie cutter. You don't have to deal with a homeowner that wants an update regularly. You give the investment group or whoever's building the commercial project monthly updates. So going from that in 1,000 blueprints to one blueprint and someone that needed their handheld every day. So I think communication, to kind of sum it all up, was really the most challenging part. The amount of communication, the amount of setting expectations and just talking through the project with the homeowners was challenging because most of those homeowners have no idea what they're putting in their backyard. And it's not just a project, it's a living organism that if it's not maintained, it'll fall apart and you're spending thousands of dollars to renovate it and repair it.
And now you're here. So talk to us a little bit about what you do there.
Yep. So then from there, I transitioned to Heritage in August of last year. And same thing with the pool industry. I had no distribution experience. I knew nothing about it other than being on the other side of the aisle, being a customer that picked it up. So I just jumped in it. The biggest thing that attracted me was it was a very A to B business. It was very much you're picking up a product from a supplier, you're bringing it to your warehouse, and then you're turning around and selling it to the customers. Whereas in the pool building side of things, there were so many variables, so many wild cards, so many different things. So what really attracted me was the simplicity and the order and the kind of controllables that I could do with distribution, and kind of I could basically have a solution to everything. Whereas in the pool, if a pool shifts 4 inches out of the ground, what are we going to do?
Right. Mm-hmm. Hey, really quick, before we continue, I've completely spaced out. We have so many people listening so far. So we've got Jeanette. Good morning, everyone. First response, Michael's good morning. Eric Nielsen, good morning to you. Abby Nicole, good morning, guys. Good morning is for you.
Good morning, everyone.
For you guys. I got Michael over here. Hey, Clayton, what's going on? Ed Morrison, good morning to everybody. Nick, good morning. We love Heritage up in Connecticut. Derek Conti, big shout out to you out there. And then for everybody over here, Joey the Pool Assassin, making waves. Benny, what's going on? CPO classes, Ramirez. Jay the Pool Guy, 626 Pool Cleaning. Big shout out to you. Stan, Lily Pad Pool Services going on. Jamie, good morning. Orozco Pool Service. Mama, good morning. Big shout out to you out there. It's JoJo, the O-Ring Store. Mr. Corey Wax. Mr. Anthony Piccolo, good morning to you out there. And just, oh my God. Let's see here. They just kind of keep jumping on here. Andy, good morning. And Just a Pool Tech, good morning to all of you guys out there. Sorry about that, John. I just forgot about everybody today because we got so many people in studio.
No. Logan, my question to you is, after talking with Edgar, he said that you've met some amazing and pretty caring people in this industry, and I believe that there are a ton of them out there, and a lot of them go unrecognized. Can you share some of those people so that we can put them out there and recognize who they are?
100%. I want to first and foremost give a huge shout out to Foley Pools for giving me my start in the pool industry. It was cool. I had some friends that mentioned pool construction, and I went home, Googled pool builders, and Foley Pools was right at the top. I saw they were hiring. I walked into their office and met with the owner. Shout out to John Foley Jr. I met with the owner, and he gave me a job that same day. So he took the chance on me, which gave me the opportunity to get into this industry. And then shout out to Ronnie. He was the service tech that trained me, taught me everything about the pool business and just the service side of it. And then the whole Foley team, really, they gave me the opportunity in pools. And so shout out to them, and then shout out to Gold Medal Pools. They were another builder that gave me an opportunity to build pools for. Great group of individuals, great team. And then shout out to my branch, some of the best people that I get the privilege of working with.
Yeah. Now, you were talking about yesterday, the retention that you have in your building is absolutely amazing. Can you talk about that real quick?
Yeah. So Noble Tile Supply has deep roots, especially in this Dallas market. They've been here over 30 years. I've got an employee, his name's Arturo. He's been there since the beginning. He was Danny Mills' right-hand man from the very beginning, building the whole place. So he's seen it from a small warehouse, an oversized shed, basically, with one forklift to running an operation of 7 or 8 forklifts running at all times. So he's seen it from the beginning. And then Rafa, our warehouse manager, started with Noble as a high schooler, and he's been there ever since, 20 plus years. And he's our warehouse manager. And then Mario Fair has been on the counter for 25 years, 26 years, I think. Maybe 27. I might be wrong with that. I even asked him this morning and I already forgot. And then we've got Eddie Lopez, who's been there 17 years. And even the whole warehouse, there hasn't been a turnover in at least 5+ years. So the team in Noble has been there. I'm the newest one, really, on the whole team. They've all stuck around and love what they do.
Wow. That's mind blowing, actually, if
Isn't
you think
it?
about it. Any business owner or any corporation, turnover and employee retention are two topics that are on the forefront of any manager or business owners or corporation's mind. And to have that type of loyalty, you can't fake that type of loyalty, right? People don't stick around for that long unless they truly love what they do and the people that they work for and the company that they work for. So kudos to you guys.
And especially what we've been through.
Yeah.
We went through a phase where everybody was just quitting and moving.
Well, and even just talking to the team about COVID and the craziness of COVID, it's a miracle that they didn't quit during COVID. I can't even imagine, what it was like during COVID, because when Heritage acquired, they came in and revamped the whole warehouse. So before it was just almost just stuff everywhere. There was no organization. There was no order to it. It was just kind of chaos. And so to think about, I talked to some of the guys and they tell me they'd be crawling over pallets of tile to get what they need, and then almost have an assembly line, hand it to one guy, he hands it to the next guy and get it out to the customer. It's really an honor to be able to work with such people that are fired up about the industry, that are fired up about helping their customers. The big thing about Noble is we're noble people serving noble people. The customers goes to the other side of the aisle too of loyalty. The customer has been buying from Noble for 30 plus years too. Some of those customers date back to the very beginning, to the very first warehouse. So it's really cool to see and just an honor to be a part of.
That's absolutely amazing. Hey, a couple really quick shout outs before we continue. Jason Horn, which I think is one of your guys, is it? No,
He's in
Rockwall. I almost said Rockwall. So big shout out to Mr. Jason. Lauren, good morning. Candace Kilpatrick, good morning. And Jerry Murillo, good morning to all you guys out there. I appreciate you guys being on there. Pete, Mr. Pool Guy. All right, Jeff, let's talk about you. You're over here in Plano. You're in our backyard, right? Logan and Jeff are in our backyard over here. You had a little bit of a brief retirement. You came back into the pool industry in 2018. So what drew you back in, and what was your previous experience in retail management, and how did that influence your approach in managing the location that you're at now?
My start in the pool business was really by accident. My family and I were getting ready to relocate from Southern California to the Phoenix area. And I knew a couple of guys that have been, one was a childhood friend all the way through now, and the other one was probably a 30-year friend that I had met through him. And Ron Newman and Robert Rankin, those are the two guys. And I was at actually Ron Newman's house about a week before I was relocating to Phoenix. And Ron and I were just chatting in his garage and kind of just talking about life and what we do. And Robert Rankin came by, and we were all just chatting and talking about work and things like that. And so I just mentioned, I'm getting kind of bored staying home, and I think when I get to Phoenix, I'm going to go back to work. And Robert gave me a weird look, and he's like, well, send me your resume. And I did. And about a week after I landed in Phoenix, I was working for the competition because Robert had forwarded my info to the Phoenix market, and literally it was that fast. It was like within 2 weeks. So I trained in the Phoenix market, and I took an hourly position, to be honest with you, for about 6 months with a plan in one of the branches, and I did a rotation, counter, warehouse, deliveries, just to learn the aspect of the pool business. To be honest, I didn't know much about the pool business. I knew pools existed. I mean, this is probably pretty remedial, but I probably didn't know a pump from a filter that well. And so I worked in the Phoenix market for approximately 2 years. The branch that I ran there was actually a unique branch. It was Pool Products, MPT, and then landscape all under one roof. So I had all three verticals of the company under one roof. Ran that for about 2 years, and then I relocated to San Diego with the same company and ran one of their branches out there in the San Diego market. As far as transitioning from retail, I spent about 22 years in retail management. The last 10 years of that or so was with a little known company. I don't even know if I can say that on this podcast.
Of course you can.
But, Lowe's. And I was fortunate. So I was able to retire at the beginning of 2016 and didn't go back to work for 2.5 years. And I love it. I love the industry. I love the people. And that's really why I decided to go back to work, was just the people. The key to being on a winning team is building a winning team and being able to mentor and coach and hire and to be successful. Any successful organization has to start with a winning strategy, which is a winning team. So that's basically how I got into the pool business, was really by accident.
That's awesome. Ron Newman was my Pentair rep. When I installed my first ever variable speed pump, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So, of course, I had to call Ron, and he showed up over to help me out. Yeah. He was probably looking at me going, what the hell is this guy being a pool guy?
Probably. Yeah. I think I made a comment to Ron one time. We actually went to lunch that day, and I said, you've forgotten more about the pool business than I'll ever know.
Right.
So,
yeah, he's definitely been around for a while.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, you've worked in different markets, including Phoenix, San Diego, and Texas. How do these markets differ in terms of customer needs and like business strategies?
Other than the Texas is the best place out of all of them.
Well, of course, everything's bigger in Texas, right? Right. But, I was giving some thought to this because I got the script last night and was really thinking about, from a product standpoint, between Phoenix and Southern California, more specifically northern San Diego County and Texas, between the product mix, there really isn't much difference. People are loyal to whatever brand they choose. In the 3 markets that I've been in, the percentage have pretty much been equal. From a sanitization standpoint, that's where I see the biggest difference. The Phoenix market, and some of it's environmental, it's weather, and some of it's just, this is what we've always done. Mentality. And then at that point, it's talking to our customer and saying, hey, there's an alternative there, or there might be a better alternative there. But Cal Hypo, I don't think I sold a bucket of Cal Hypo in Phoenix. Northern San Diego, I don't think I sold, maybe I can count on one hand how many times I sold Cal Hypo in those markets. When I got here, I was floored. The first day I walked the warehouse and I was like, what is all this Cal Hypo? And they're like, that's what everybody uses here. And I'm like, okay. So, like the Phoenix market, it's going to be all liquid in tabs. And then you got trichlor and dichlor, which is what they go to secondary. And that's mostly environmental. When it's 120, some of our chemicals aren't as effective. In Southern California, it was really all liquid in all tabs. We sold very little trichlor, dichlor. We sold no Cal Hypo. And then, of course, Texas, it's all granular. I think we've done a good job of promoting liquid-based sanitization products. And so we still have the market to grow there, and we still have share to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I first came out and was going out, and it was like, in California, I was used to liquid and the returnables from Asa, and I go, and they're like, we don't have any. I'm like, what? But we do have the throwaway. And so out here, it was a huge, and at some point, the throwaway was actually cheaper than the returnable.
Right.
But I did see the same thing where it was like, I came out and was like, no Cal Hypo. I mean, no liquid. And it was all Cal Hypo out here.
And also, too, is talking to the customer, because we are a throwaway market. Talking to the customer about, your initial cost might be a little bit higher because you got deposits and then exchangeables and things like that. But then you have all that garbage.
Yeah.
And it's got to go somewhere. So it's either going in your customer's garbage can or you're hauling it around and throwing it away somewhere else. Whereas returnables, you can bring them back. They'll refill them at the plant and they'll send them back to you.
You bring up a good point, and it is funny, different markets in different areas.
Today we are in studio, so we are with the Cannonball Key himself.
Oh, whoa.
Mr. Spider.
Thank you for that warm welcome. I wasn't expecting that.
Hey, today we're talking to Casey McGovern, Mr. Todd Pieri, and Steve Barnes. And I want to welcome everyone to this live podcast. Today we're talking about a very special topic that I think we need to obviously spend a lot more time talking about. And last time we had the podcast and Casey was on and Todd jumped on the live, and we'll share a little bit about that a little bit later. And I think a lot of synergy, a lot of passion went into that, to where Todd called me and said, we got to do something. So we're going to come out, we're going to schedule a podcast And as you guys have noticed, John, this is what, our third time live this week?
Yeah, I was just going through it right now. Pool Nation Podcast Marathon Week.
So people are either going to love us or they're going to hate us and get tired of us. But But with this topic, we had to make time for it. And it was one of those that we're getting close to busy time. We had a whole bunch of people scheduled, but we were going to make it a priority and make the time to make this happen. And so we pulled it together. We did an extra episode this week. And so we're excited to have you guys here today. So, by the way, John, I don't know if you felt my vibe when I called you this morning, but I was tired.
Dude, I was just getting ready. I was typing you a little message right now. I'm saying, I feel for you.
But tell me, off of that intro, as soon as Spider hit that button, like my energy level just went out the roof.
It's crack.
It's like crack. It really is. I'm not kidding.
You hear that whistle? The same thing happens to me because I was tired too coming in here.
I wish I shared the same experience with you guys. I'm still battling my demons every morning, trying to stay awake and fight my old age. I got up today at like 5 o'clock in the morning, as I usually do, and I've come to just accept the old age, which is fine. And it has been a little tiring, right? Not so much physical work. Obviously, we got a lot of work that we're doing with the company and servicing, installing, doing all that stuff that we usually do. And summertime starts to really take a toll on you when it's so hot. And now we're like, 120 degrees or like 50% humidity. So it's a little tough, but it is what it is. Nothing's really changed. It's more of the mental exhaustion. And we like to take a lot of time prepping for our guests that come on, and we have a lot of things happening this month, especially with the women's event and the podcast that we had this week. We've done our third one. The most we do is usually 2. And to tag on to what you were talking about, Edgar, when the opportunity came up for us to be able to have this podcast, we had to jump on it. And I'm going to get into it a little bit later, but this is a very important subject, and we had Casey on about a month or so ago. I don't know, it was a few weeks ago, and we had a very good conversation that was eye-opening to a lot of us, including myself, and to our listeners. It inspired a lot of thought, provoked a lot of action, and Todd, the AquaStar team, Steve, everybody who's behind it, Olaf, that are there fighting a good fight over at AquaStar, jumped in and threw their hat in the ring and announced that they were going to get behind this program, and they were going to partner with Casey, and they were going to be donating some money, and then wanted to jump in and do a podcast talking about it. Well, we preach, this is something that's very important. It's not let's wait 6 months to do this and talk about it. No, we need to do this now and get on it. This is an initiative that AquaStar changed their whole, you'll get to see what they've done and what they're doing and what they plan on doing and the program they initiated. But mad respect to you guys for putting your money where your mouth is and actually putting action forth and doing something about it. Too many times in this world, and again, I don't want anybody to take me wrong on this, but there are a lot of good causes or a lot of things that happen that we can be a part of, right? And as corporations or as individuals, we can choose to participate. We can talk about how great it is. A lot of companies go out there and donate money, which is needed, right, in order to help fight these causes. But not many go much further than that, right? You put money in and you donate for a cause, and then you've done your thing for the year, or you feel good about what you did, but have you really done everything you possibly can to help maximize that or help drive that message home? And I think that's where AquaStar kind of shines. And they're saying, not only are we going to be giving money, but we're partnering. And these are the types of programs that we're going to be implementing. And this is how we're going to get the message out to everybody the best way that we can. I just think you guys are a world-class team. Just goes to show again, AquaStar, you guys are leveling up, changing the perception of how things are done. And I'm just proud to have a small little part in it, just being here with you guys. And I'm looking forward to seeing the type of impact that you two can have in the industry in a positive way, so that we can hopefully prevent these needless drownings that are happening every single year because of something as silly as not having the ability or the capability to learn how to swim or to take some safety precautions. So I'm super excited. Thanks, guys, for coming out here. Steve, I know it's been a long week for you as well. You've been here for...
Now, are you saying that? Are you going to be like...
I'm saying that because you're with Edgar.
I knew it. I knew that's where you were going.
Texas
I knew
is
it.
beautiful. Food is great. Right?
Oh, yeah. I've been eating well.
Yeah, it's a little hot there, but... Yeah, it's nothing too crazy. You've had to be with Edgar for...
I knew where he was going.
Yeah.
I could see it in his twinkle. What it is, he's jealous is what it is, that it was you and not him. He called me yesterday. He's like, I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. And I'm like, bro.
Kevin, edit that out of the real podcast.
His bromance
That is
kicks in.
not
His
true.
bromance kicks in. You know what I mean? And then he starts getting hostile. It's almost like that hangry type thing. When he doesn't come out like once or twice a month, he gets hangry.
I also want to say this, and I want to give much respect out to my good friend and brother, Edgar. You have been a trooper this week. It's not easy doing what you're doing. You got a lot going on, especially with the kids going out to college and stuff. And we got the women's event happening this month. And we've had 3 separate groups come out in a week and to go out, wine, dine, do what you've done, go do the studio time. I'm not complaining because somehow I got away with not being there. It just so happened to work out that way where I wasn't there. And I'm just thankful that you're there doing it, brother.
No problem.
I have no problem doing this podcast. Let's go.
Yeah. And it's been a great time. And I've been hanging out with Steve. And I was telling Steve yesterday that my time with him and Terry Arko it was just like 3 friends hanging out. It really wasn't. And yes, we had to do all the pictures and the entertaining and going out to dinner and stuff like that. But just getting to listen to them and their war stories from back then and all, I completely soaked it in. So anyways, but I appreciate you bringing up my daughter's thing so I could start crying on the podcast. So
right.
Anyways, Casey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very good. Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be here yet again, twice over the last month. And then we will be here the end of August for the Women's Summit too. So yeah, thank you.
No problem. And it just seems like now she's just going to be coming out like Steve and Todd. They come out like every other month.
In rotation.
Steve, how are you? Good morning.
I'm doing amazing. Loving it. Just really excited about this topic. I think we can really help move the needle. And it has been an amazing week hanging out with Heritage and then, of course, Terry. You guys are amazing. It's great fun. I love what you're doing for our industry.
I appreciate it. It's been an amazing time. Mr. Pieri, thank you for joining us. He was the last one to show up. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. This is, if you've watched us before and you know the passion that we have in our products and our pumps and our filter and our ozone, you're really going to see the passion in this one because this is the backbone of AquaStar right here relative to starting in the safety arena. So the synergy between every child a swimmer and what we're trying to accomplish is incredible. And we're honored to be able to partner up with Every Child a Swimmer and help move the needle in this arena.
Awesome. Hey, before we get started, I want to give some shout outs here so I don't forget everybody online. So Mr. Brian Kerson is up. What's going on, brother? Big shout out to you. Reyes Conde, Pool Nation, live on Saturday. Good morning, Maestro. Good morning. Yes, we are live. And then Making Waves, Tammy, Danielle, what's going on? Logan, Siloam Pool Care, Mike, Rick, Maria from Ensenada Pools, Mr. Corey Wax, what's going on? Eddie, big shout out. Mr. Chris Melee. Let's see here. Rick, AquaStar is a rock star. Oh, yeah, I like that. And Mr. LaPiccolo, what's going on? Big shout out to you. And then Edge Pools. Big shout out to you guys all this morning. Thank you so much for joining us live. So, John, let's get through a couple of housekeeping notes here really quick so that we can get started. So we do have the Women's Summit that's coming up August 29th and 30th in August out here. It is completely sold out, so we're excited about that.
Woohoo!
So looking forward to that. The other thing is the Pool Nation Spotlight Insights. We have the new one coming out this coming Wednesday, so if you are not signed up for that, go to poolnation.com, enter your email address. There'll be some promos on there. I just got Todd, John, to extend that $300 promo, and I think he's going to allow me to throw it out there. Am I allowed? You know what? I'm going to make a decision. Can I make a decision? You're going to let me run with scissors?
Sure.
You're not going to get mad at me?
No, I'll get mad at you.
You'll get mad at me, but you'll get over it?
We'll work through it.
So here's what will happen, John. For the next 30 days, we have the promo out, and you can use it as many times as you want. How about that?
Oh, my gosh. I didn't think you'd go there.
Wow.
So if they buy 5 pumps, they could use it over the 5 pumps. I say yes. John, do you second?
I say yes.
There you go. Done.
And we'll
Done.
see his website down after 2 weeks or something like that. I'm sorry.
So
until supplies last? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So
while supplies last.
Yeah.
So everybody that's listening, you're only supposed to use that code once, but you know what? I'm going to make a decision and see how mad I can make Todd. So for the next month when the insight is out, if you buy 10 pumps, you could use the code 10 times. And if you use
That's
it 10
huge.
times, that's $3,000 that you save.
I may not come back.
He might not come back after that. So let's do it. So anyways, go out, check it out, sign up your email address. The next thing that we have is the Pool Nation Conference, November 9th, 10th, and 11th. We are going to be doing technical classes, hands-on business retail. And we just announced yesterday that we partnered with Heritage Pool Supply. AquaStar, you guys are absolutely amazing because you're bringing your A game to this event. We're going to have John's dream reality come true, which is the Disneyland. And John, I haven't shared with you yet what they're doing, but they're going big for their display out there. So the Heritage Pool Pro Appreciation, November 11th from 3:30 to 7. It's absolutely free. It's something different that we haven't done in the industry yet. It's all hands-on, so there's no tabletop. It's more of an Apple bar type mentality. When it comes to the business side, you'll be able to go meet with people and talk about scaling, talk about finances, talk about HR, branding, all that kind of stuff. And then all of the visionary partners are going to be there. AquaStar is going to be there with their equipment, and it's completely different to where the pool pros show up. No tabletops are allowed. All the equipment are there, and what you guys do in the training classes, teaching pool pros how to program, how to install, all that kind of stuff. So,
John, it's so different that Steve didn't sleep last night because all he could think about was how are we going to pull this off?
You should have seen it, John.
Literally.
Like, he got out of the truck last night, and he had this focused look. He got in the truck this morning and wouldn't let me and Todd have any other conversation. And he's like, I need to grasp the concept of what we're doing. And me and Todd were like trying to change the conversation. So awesome. And he turns and he goes, we're not talking about anything until I have a clear understanding.
You can literally watch him mentally check.
Oh, yeah.
I had 3 bullet points that I had to answer so I could get my brain back.
Oh, and I'm sure.
John, it was amazing.
Oh, and I bet I can only see Todd just sitting there thinking, oh, my God, how much is this going to cost me? You know?
I knew it. And John, you should have seen. So really quick, before we get into the podcast, so Steve has been with me all week. And so I was showing the videos and where we want to put them and all that kind of stuff. And we want it to be big. And so we found out that the first floor, you can't use a forklift. And so the unit that they have is so amazing that it requires a freaking forklift to be able to put that display where we want it to. So Steve's brain starts going, how can I redesign this whole thing? Can I take the parts and use it from that? Or am I going to have to start from scratch? And I need 1.5 inches on this side and 2 inches on this side. And we need to replace the pumps. And he's going off on this tangent in the truck about how this thing is going to go. And John, just envision Steve's style when it's like all the 3D stuff is going up in the air. And that's how his brain was going. Yeah, he was like in this world. And then all of a sudden, we have to call Todd because we have to tell him that the unit that they have won't work. So he's going to have to completely build something new. And Todd was like, Edgar, dude, like every time you call me, you cost me money. Like, what the heck is going on?
Our line on our P&L changed from Pool Nation to I have an idea. And I know exactly who it is.
But Steve came over and he comes over to me a little bit later and he's like, Todd just called me. And he said, build whatever you need to build. And I'm like, yes. So I was screaming in the truck celebrating. So thank you for that.
And with Steve, when you have an idea and we have to bring it to life, you need someone to talk to, but he'll figure it out.
Oh,
he's figuring
absolutely.
out while he's telling you.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets to where he needs to, but he's just,
He's going through the journey.
Yes.
I can't help myself. I just can't help myself.
Hey, you should
keep this in mind.
Go ahead.
Keep this in mind when you're building this, Steve. Build it as if it's going to be the centerpiece for your building. I think whatever you guys build, you should have it and have it on display at your guys' facility so that these walks that are happening and the tours of the plant are going to be something that are going to continue and more people are going to do it. How cool would it be to have that as your centerpiece or your masterpiece, displaying and showing all the wonderful products and stuff and innovation that you guys have created, right? So it's not a one-time thing. It's a thing that you guys are going to be using over and over again and at every single conference that we're going to be doing. So I think if you put it into that perspective, then the budget should at least increase tenfold.
Yeah, I was just thinking, is that what you were doing right there?
That fish was coming. It's in the boat, baby.
This is why John and I are a 10-punch combo.
Todd's a smart man, dude. Todd's a smart man.
He's no dummy.
We're not stupid.
He's no dummy.
He runs a very successful company, right? And you have to be very cautious about where you put your money and make sure it makes sense. And you have to be a visionary and be able to look into the future and see. And when this money, you just can't throw away money and expect your business to be around 10 years later. So absolutely. I get it.
Price and profit are cyclical, right? And we can control our costs.
Yep.
We control our costs.
Don't point at me.
Hey, he pointed at me
Don't
too.
point
Wait,
at me.
we're co-conspirators now.
Yeah.
I feel like, I'm not letting you come out early anymore.
But you know what will happen, John? When it's a huge hit over at the thing, then he'll come over and be like, good call, guys. Good call. So
This is bigger than the boot camp carts. Physically, and
No,
we're moving water. This is a traveling science fair.
Yes.
It's amazing, John. Your Disneyland dream is going to come true. Trust me. Oh, and by the way, I didn't share
I
it
hope
to you,
I
John.
can ride it. Can I ride it?
No.
Like a water slide, right? Like a raging water.
Monetarily, we hope everyone.
I do have to tell you this, John, because I didn't share this with you, but Steve and I were having a conversation about the Disneyland dream of John and that kind of stuff. And that sparked some of the other people that listened to the conversation, because there was other people that listened. And I got phone calls going, oh, if AquaStar is going that big, we need to step up our game too. So look at what they're doing. Not only are they stepping up their game, they're forcing everybody else to step their game up.
That's the beautiful thing about it. And that's what we want. This is what drives inspiration. It drives innovation. It gets people, we're all competitive in some way. We want to put forth our best foot. We want to be able to make magic happen like this. And I think the rest of our partners are going to feel the same thing too. Nobody wants to, you're going to build this big, beautiful cake and then you walk in with a half-eaten cupcake, you know what I mean, at the show and present that as your masterpiece, you know?
John.
You guys are, yeah.
John, check this out. Right here, David Jones just sent us a message on the chat and he goes, back to the drawing board, I guess.
See?
I feel your pain, brother.
See? David now gets it that he needs to up his game, and they got some really cool stuff. So
pop-up banner's not going to cut it.
A pop-up banner just doesn't do it anymore. No. It just doesn't. No. And then I do want to give one last thing, and we'll get started with the podcast. One last thing that I am going to do is I am going to prep Brian Croissant because he's on here. And Brian, most likely you will take the brunt of the labor and you will have to put this thing together. So I'm prepping you now so that you don't get angry at me later, because they'll get angry at me later having to put all this stuff together. So prep yourself, Brian, because it's coming.
It's too big, Brian. You'll have help.
Let's get started, my friends over here. This is all about Casey now. See, we just flipped the switch like that. Boom. So Casey, you were on here a couple weeks ago and you shared your story, and AquaStar jumped onto the podcast, and I think a great partnership is building from this. And we want to talk about that. We want to talk about what AquaStar wants to do, what we want to do to be able to help. But maybe we'll have some new listeners that are catching. They haven't listened to your previous podcast. And by the way, Steve, what number was it?
203.
203. So the previous podcast was 203. So we're going to have Casey tell her story, obviously a little bit shorter version, but go back to episode 203, listen to that podcast so you really get a full understanding of what it is that we're talking about and why the passion so much. So Casey, thanks so much for joining us. I know that today's a difficult date for you, and I'll let you share that. But can you share your story a little bit with us for those that haven't heard your story before?
Yeah, of course. And I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you guys all for this opportunity yet again. I think that anybody that hears a story, I hope, will just have it resonate and let them think about what they can do to push it forward and cause a ripple of change and for positivity. So I'm open to sharing it anytime I can with the goal of saving lives. 15 years ago today, actually, we spent the day in the pool. Our family did. And at that time, I had an 11-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 19-month-old. And my husband was home, and we spent the day in the pool area, having lunch, having popsicles, just really enjoying the last days of summer. And we were a big supporter of floaties. So even in that day, the girls were wearing their floaties and just floating around in the pool. And we thought that life was just absolutely perfect. We were incredibly blessed. And at one point, I got out of the pool with Edna Mae, who was the youngest, put her down for a nap. My husband came in soon after with the other girls so I could go to the grocery store. And so I go to the grocery store and I got back and I was met by Edna Mae in our family room, where I proceeded to put her in a glider chair on the opposite side of the kitchen counter while I put my groceries away. And at the same time, there was a gentleman that came over to talk to my husband about work. And so they went into the front living room, and it was a little bit more busy than norm. So I think that it was just added just another level of chaos to our family at that time. As I'm putting groceries away, he called me into the front living room to ask me a question. And I went into the living room, answered the question, came back, and she wasn't where I had left her. And I knew to put my eyes on her, but I wasn't alarmed because our house is safe and very protected. And that was where we had the play dates and we were the helicopter parents. So I knew to put my eyes on her. And so I went bedroom to bedroom looking for her before I proceeded to go outside. And again, the pool wasn't on my radar. I don't know why at this point when I think about it, but it wasn't until I looked to the right. I was walking to a little play area, a little swing set, when I saw her floating in our pool. And I just ran around and held her and screamed. And I didn't start CPR. I didn't do anything but hold her and hug her. And thankfully, my husband heard my screams because he came out and took her from me and put her on the coping. And the gentleman that was there during the interview was also just such a hero of ours because he's the one that called 911 because my brain just shut off. And he handed me the phone. And I remember talking to the 911 operator as if it was yesterday and screaming. I don't know what I was saying, but I was screaming. And she said, "Ma'am, you are not helping the situation. Put it on speaker and put it up to the person doing CPR." I did and watched my husband do CPR until the paramedics got there. And her and I got in the ambulance and we were brought to the hospital where they eventually got her heart pumping at that point at the hospital. And then we were transferred to another hospital for another week. And throughout the week, we watched her fight for her life and had to come to understanding that she wasn't going to be okay, and talked about organ donation. And we, on the 11th, decided to donate her organs and say goodbye to her, where she was able to help 4 different family members. But just to go a little bit more into the details and the time frame, at 3:46 p.m., I checked out of Publix with my groceries. And I think that's significant because it's such a short time. And I think people have to understand that it's quick. So 3:46, I checked out of Publix, packed my car with the groceries, drove home, unloaded the groceries, put them on the counter, and then obviously the chain of events that I just spoke about. And at 4:15, I'm in the hospital by myself, soaking wet, watching my daughter fight for her life. And 29 minutes from going grocery shopping for a family of 5 to an absolute worst nightmare happening. And it was so fast. It's one of those things where she went this way when I went this way, and our life changed. So the last days in the hospital, the last thing I said to her as I clipped her little clips of her little hair that she had and took her earrings out is, "I promise I will do everything in my power to help other families never experience this." And today is 15 years later, and I've never quit. I've had to pivot a lot. I've had to figure out, but I grew and I learned, and I feel that I'm in the right path. I feel that what we're doing with Every Child Swimmer program will really, truly move the needle. I really do. We're building accountability. We are teaching children to swim. And that's really the only thing that we could do to prevent these drownings from happening. Yeah, 15 years ago, our worst nightmare happened, and not a day goes by that I don't wish that it was different. But I'm called to do this, and I don't take it for granted.
Yeah. It's absolutely amazing. And every time you say it, I believe you with all my heart that you said that you were going to do this for the rest of your life. And I shared my story, obviously nowhere near yours, but I was at that moment on my knees saying, just let me keep her. If I have to take care of her for the rest of my life in whatever condition she is, I'll spend the rest of my life doing that. So when you say that, I go through that emotion every time. And I truly believe, based on everything, on your actions and everything that you do, that you will spend the rest of your life fighting for your daughter.
There's no doubt. And I had the same argument with God that, please let me keep her. Please let me keep her. But the thinking back about the hospital stay and the progression of a Monday to a Monday, they allowed us to take care of her and they allowed us to do these things. And then there was a point where, as I was cleaning her eyes and brushing her teeth, I knew she wasn't there. And I said that to my husband, that I have to let her go. We have to let her go because she's not there. And no matter how much I prayed and wanted it to be different and would have done everything in my power to just have her with us, I knew it wasn't the reality.
It's a very difficult situation. And unfortunately, a lot of times it takes, I think that's why this topic is so important, is because unfortunately, until it happens to you or it happens to somebody close to you, you don't click, you don't do the things that you need to do. And that's why when AquaStar jumped on the podcast and did what they did, and Todd's just been very passionate about this, and Todd called me one day and said, can we talk for 10 minutes? We ended up talking for 2 hours after he had talked to you. And he's like, I have to do something. and I need your platform and I need you to help me, and we're going to do this. And even the time frames were very tight. We said we have to make it happen. So we appreciate you guys as well for doing what it is.
I just want to interject because you also made it work for us to make it on this date, which is a significant date. And you all worked your schedules around to be here on such a significant date, because we usually do an act of service on this date as a memory and something positive to come. So thank you for working your schedules around to make this be special.
And this is Saturday, August 3rd.
Yes. Crazy.
Casey, you're an amazing woman in person. You have the strength that you show every single time you tell your story. And I've heard it many times, and every single time it just, I don't know, it definitely has a profound effect on me. And I can't even imagine being in your position and being able to relive it every single time. And I know you do it. I know it hurts. And the reason why you do it is because you're so strong when it comes down to your convictions and what you're trying to accomplish here and what you're trying to do, that you have to share this story over and over and over again, right? And go through that pain and relive that every single time. And yes, time does heal to a certain extent, but it never fully heals. There's scars left behind, right? And you go back in and you relive it. I don't know. I just don't know how you do it. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for doing that, especially on a day like today. We're going to do everything we possibly can to help drive this message home so that we can avoid another family to have to go through what you went through. Todd, I want to start off too with giving you guys a big, huge thanks for coming on to the podcast last time and doing that $10,000 and donating it to Every Child as a Swimmer. It's people like yourself and your company and AquaStar and all the amazing people that you have working there that truly make a difference and help people like Casey to be able to drive their message home. Because for the majority, the unfortunate thing is that you can scream from the rooftops this message, but without money, it's almost impossible, or it makes it that much more difficult to be able to get that message across effectively to the masses. And without companies like AquaStar, it would make the job of Casey much harder to be able to fulfill this dream and promise that she made to her daughter. So thank you guys very much for that.
Yeah, and this is absolutely an AquaStar thing. My name's said quite a bit so far, but we're super passionate about what we do as a company. It starts with Olaf. And then I was lucky to come on in 2010. Olaf had the foresight to bring Steve on 10 years ago now. And those two passions colliding is infectious. And then they taught me a lot about the passion of both the safety side and the production side. And then when Casey and I had a conversation, like I think we set it up for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was almost 2 hours because I was like, wow, the passion is undeniable. And then I got to tell our story, AquaStar story, from the beginning and why we got to where we did and where we are. And I think she saw it too. She's, wow, I had no clue that this is the backbone of what your company is. So this is definitely top-down AquaStar and everyone involved. The passion is real.
What was the action? What was that switch that made you just go, we're doing something. We have to do something?
It was that phone call.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I've listened to Casey speak at a few events, National Plasters Council, also the Pool Nation Awards. And obviously the story is gut-wrenching. And then after the conversation we had, the synergy that I saw between her passion, Steve's passion it's bananas.
Second to none.
It's
Bananas, that works.
Yeah, it is.
I've been known as bananas.
Yeah. And it's every detail with him. It's every single detail. And it's fun when you have an owner that has the passion of doing the right thing for this industry and loving this industry, and then bringing people on like Steve that has the passion for what he does and what he does for the industry on the safety side. When those two worlds collide, looking back now is, wait, we could be unstoppable in this space. And I think we'll talk a little bit later how we morphed into where we are now with talking to the residential space about it. But yeah, a big lift for AquaStar at the beginning was commercial, because that was the big unknown. We were educating as many people as we could. And then now moving into the residential side for us is huge. It's very important.
Look, I think all this is just absolutely great and amazing that you guys are partnering.
Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. U.S. Motors Neptune Variable Speed Motor provides a versatile replacement solution for all your pool pump motor needs. This motor can communicate with pool control systems, provide low voltage options to work with time clocks, and can be installed as a standalone pump motor. The Neptune motor can be easily installed on existing pumps, upgrading them to a variable speed pump without the need for replumbing. Enjoy energy savings and quiet operation by installing a Neptune Variable Speed Motor today. For more information and to find your local distributor, visit usmotors.com/pool. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Meet the pipeline pump from AquaStar Pool Products, the next generation of variable speed pumps designed for serious efficiency. At its core is a high-performance permanent magnet motor that's totally enclosed and fan-cooled, delivering consistent energy-saving operation. Paired with AquaStar's patented high-efficiency volute design, the pipeline pump maintains optimal flow while cutting down on energy use. And it's not just efficient, it's incredibly quiet. Thanks to a high-tech rubber motor mount that absorbs vibrations and dampens sound, the pipeline runs smooth and quiet by limiting turbulence. Its 2.5-inch internal frame ensures unrestricted water flow, and it's available in both 1.5 HP and 3.0 HP models, each with 2-inch and 2.5-inch union fittings for flexible and efficient installation. Experience the pipeline difference: incredibly quiet operation, peak efficiency, and proven performance. Ask your supplier for the pipeline pump from AquaStar. Available now. Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC. The next evolution in lighting is here. Universal Color Logic 2.0 from Hayward. The latest in pool and spa lighting was designed with you in mind, making installation a breeze. Upgrades include a detachable cord and first-of-a-kind adjustable lower catch to overcome variations in plaster thickness. As always, Universal Color Logic lights retrofit into virtually any in-ground pool or spa while delivering industry-leading, vibrant color. Visit Hayward.com to discover more.
Welcome, everyone. It is Edgar with the Pool Nation Podcast, and we have a special episode this week. We invited out Terry Arko and Steve Barnes, which are the inductees for the 2023 Pool Nation Hall of Fame. And we had them out. We did a Instagram Live with them and got their stories and got to ask a lot of different questions. And what we wanted to do is we thought, wow, it was such a great episode that what we're going to do is turn it into a special podcast focusing on the Hall of Fame for 2023. So, Mr. Flawless, how you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing.
You're doing?
I'm doing. I came home. Usually, look, I'm spoiled. I come home, right? And I'm getting ready right before 6 o'clock and I'm ready to rock and roll. And I come and I go into my little area and Mama and the kids, they have the tripod set up with the phone. And I'm like, no, we're doing a podcast on the live. So they were scrambling to set up the laptop and the podcast stuff real quick. So I apologize for the 5-minute delay, but we had to do a quick set rehearsal, whatever change in order to get ready for the podcast. But here we are.
Yeah, so today, everybody, we're doing something a little bit different. So we have Steve Barnes in-house. We have Terry Arko in-house as well. Obviously, it's Wednesday night. It's our Instagram Live, but they are both out visiting Pool Nation because there's a couple of things that are going on with Steve and Terry. So as most of they are, the first inductee to the Hall of Fame was Bob.
Yes, Bob Lowry.
We inducted Bob Lowry. But the very next year, for the very first class, 2023, was Terry Arko and Steve Barnes.
Amazing.
So big, huge congratulations to both of you. And I could share the story with John, right? Because we came up with the concept of the Hall of Fame and was really excited about it, but felt like nobody was as excited as I was, right, John?
As
we were. Sorry, that's what I meant. As we were, like everybody.
Well, it's a little different, right? The industry, we really haven't done anything like this before. And we thought, hey, it's really important to celebrate the people in our industry that have left their mark or has helped all of us, especially while they're either still in the industry or while they're living, instead of waiting until after years or decades later to recognize them and put their name up on the wall. Let's celebrate them now. More importantly, one, because they deserve it. Two, also, it allows newcomers that are getting into the industry to be able to look for the type of people that they can learn from or reach out to and benefit from all the teachings and learnings that we have over the years from people like Terry and from Steve and from, of course, Bob. So that's our whole purpose behind it. And I personally think this is one of the coolest things we've come up with. And I hope this legacy just lives on, because this is something that we, as an industry, I think we could do a lot better when it comes down to recognizing people. And again, the same reason why we're doing the Pool Nation Awards too, and why we thought that was very important, and giving the pool pros a voice so that it's by the people, for the people. That's why we do it. And the same in turn for the Hall of Fame. These are the types of things that really excite me and I think are some of the most important work that we do, for sure.
Absolutely. Hey, before we get started here, I want to give some shout outs. Our boy Benny, thank you for that. Jeanette, how are you? Corey, LW Vegas, the winner of Vegas, Penn Valley Pools, Chris, Mr. Zach, the pool boy is on. Big shout out to you all the way up there. Mr. Hokulea Pools, Victor, how are you? Academy Pools. And by the way, now Steve makes all the sense in the world. Like after I talk to you today, makes all the sense in the world why this name. 68 Mustang Suze. Now,
Suze, my sweetie.
All right.
I was showing pictures. of the Mustang. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, Susan, that Mustang is just absolutely amazing. So, big shout out to you. Of course, you know what you're going to have to do is next time you come out, you're going to have to bring her out. And we're going to have to take her to dinner where we went to dinner.
She would be amazed.
Yeah.
But we got to do that on a Saturday or Sunday so that we could do the tour of it out there. So everybody stay on. We're going to share what that is. Hey, First Response Pools, big shout out. Cool Tech USA. Mr. Pete, tip of the day, baby. Big shout out to you. Blue View Pools, Pool Tech Johnny, what's going on? Let's see. Jordan, Pool Nation, getting our butts kicked finally off work. Wow, that must have been a long day to you out there. Mr. Anthony LaPiccolo, big shout out to you. And our boy, AquaStar. Oh.
Mr. Omar.
The Mr. Famous Omar. So big shout out to you, Omar.
Delivering filters on horseback, Omar.
There you go. So anyways, everybody, thanks for joining us. As I said, we're doing something a little bit different. We're doing the podcast all the way out here. So we had Steve and Terry come out. There's a couple things that we're going to be doing. And I guess we can spill a little bit of the tea, John, right, with what we're doing?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right? So you guys were the first members inducted into the Pool Nation Hall of Fame, which, by the way, we couldn't have had better people inducted into that first class. And I was really excited to see you guys that night. And so what we did is we went out and we picked what we thought were going to be the jackets for the Pool Nation Hall of Fame. And I think at the time it was a good idea, right, John? We didn't give it too much thought. So we went, we saw, we picked, we're like, this is it. But John, tell them what we didn't do.
No, you got to forgive us. We're pool guys, right? It's not like, we're in with the fashion and we're in with what's cool and what's not. It worked out really well for the time, but we've matured and evolved as the years have gone by. And this year we're going to be fitting our Hall of Famers with a jacket that fits the prestigious position that they have on the Hall of Fame, because I think it's pretty cool what we're going to be doing.
Yeah. So we picked the jackets and then we went back to go get some other jackets, and we normally go to the Men's Warehouse, which they have been absolutely amazing with us. And they just said, hey, just to give you a heads up, at some point you're not going to be able to find this fabric anymore because this is more of a style type thing. I panicked, right? Because I'm thinking, great, 10 years into this thing and we're not going to be able to find any more of these jackets. How are we going to keep everybody together? So I went and I met with them. Hey, Sherry, big shout out to you out there. Mikey's quick coupler, Justin, Mama, big shout out. Daniel, shout out to you as well. Thanks to everybody for being on. So I was freaked out, and then I went over, and in typical fashion, I had my head set that it needed to be something similar to what we had, but we just couldn't find anything. And then I met with them. They were just absolutely amazing. They came out with all these different colors and all these different things. And so we decided to go with new jackets. So Steve and Terry were out here because they're getting measured for their new suits, for their new jackets for the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And at the same time, we're going to do a photo shoot with them tomorrow. So they have a photo shoot in studio. And then in the month of November, they're going to be on the cover of the Spotlights and Insights.
Wow. It's like the cover of the Rolling Stone.
Yes. There you go.
I like your style, Terry. I like your style.
Yeah. But listen, I got to tell you, though, Steve, I don't know about how they broke the news to you, but they did it to me in a very nefarious way. Because, I'm at the show, and Edgar comes over to me during the show. This is 2022.
2022, yeah.
In Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah.
And you say, hey, Terry, tomorrow at 12:30, we want to do an interview on what you thought about the Pool Nation Awards that we just did and talk to you a little bit about that. Can you come over at 12:30? So I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. So then the next day, 12:30, I go to the booth, and Edgar's there, and it's busy, and he's running around. And then he gets Benny.
Yep, big shout out to Benny. He's on here.
Benny was your video man.
Yeah.
And it's, hey, Benny, take him up to the interview room, and we'll be up there in a few minutes. So I'm walking up with Benny. I never met Benny. I didn't know who he was. He takes me up there, and we get up into the room, which is overlooking the whole floor and everything. And Benny's getting the video all set up, and he's going, yeah, they're going to ask you a few questions. And he's really going on with it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm sitting there. And then I'm sitting there, and here comes Edgar walks through the door, and JJ walks through the door. And Zach walks through the door. And I think all the wives walk through the door. I mean, it's like they're all coming at me. And I remember I looked at Benny and I said, like, did I do something wrong? Like
he did. He said, he said, did I do something wrong?
Yeah. And I'm the Catholic kid that went to Catholic school and got in trouble. And I know that if you were in the office and 2 or 3 nuns came walking in the door, that was trouble, man. And so here they come. They all come in and they're all, yeah, we got something we need to say to you. Like, what? And then they broke the news to me. And I was like, yeah, I was flabbergasted. So I would have never thought that for cleaning pools way back in the 70s, I would have ended up with a Hall of Fame jacket.
Yeah. So
it was cool, though.
Yeah.
You're very modest.
I know, right? He's just so modest.
A little more than that, Terry. You've been a blessing to our industry. And when we sat and we talked, and we go through some serious conversations about this because we take it very seriously, the people that came up, Steve, Terry, obviously, what's so beautiful about the work that you guys have done, you've done it so selflessly. I don't know if that's the correct word for it, but you've put in so much work over the years, and you're not the type that goes out there. And we all know them, like me, look at me. You do it simply because of a passion and a love for the industry, and you truly want to better it. And it doesn't feel or ever seem like you have a hidden agenda behind it. And it's truly for the people and to better us. And you have done that. And I know I've learned tons and tons over the years from your teachings. And my family's benefited from it as well, because we're able to do the things that we do and be more successful and provide a better service for our company because of some of the teachings that you've done. And to look at yourself too, Steve, it is just mind-blowing. And I've been opened up just recently to really how much work you've put into behind the scenes when we had that chance to tour the plant and to see all the work that you guys put into safety and actually saving people's lives and making sure that the products that are put out there aren't just put out there to turn a profit, right? Or to just make money, but that makes sense and that help people and save people. And not only that, We talk about like the innovation and products that you guys have done as well when it comes down to listening to the people that are actually using the product and taking feedback and doing something about it and changing it and trying to better it, not just to fatten your guys' pocket, but to better the industry and to provide a better service for the people that are out there using your products. And those are the types of things we look into and we look for when we consider these types of positions. And we had overwhelming response from our community and our people winning. And I know I'm going off on a tangent here. And it's not really what we're at, but this is really important stuff. And like I said, I'm humbled and proud to know both of you and to call each of you my friends. And I look forward to many more years. Hopefully, you guys bless us with your knowledge and your presence in our industry. I think you guys are 1 in a billion. Thank you so much.
I want you guys to know. So first of all, John, I was completely geeking out today when I did the video, joking that I had the Hall of Famers in the car. And you guys probably haven't noticed it, but I've completely soaked up like every second of hanging out with you guys, listening to you guys do the pool talk and some of the stuff that was even going over my head. And I was just like sitting there, just like soaking it in, and just to be able to know here I am, and I'm just a pool guy, right? Just to be able to sit with you guys and have those conversations and listen was awesome. But I want you guys to understand that not just us, but the community thinks the same thing about you guys and everything that you do. And the level of cool pool geek in that studio is off the charts. And I said, you are not kidding. And then somebody saying the aura in that podcast room is bright in all capital letters. So I know that you guys, let's see, Golden State Pool, big shout out to you. I do want to say that you guys are very, very humble and you don't see yourselves probably like that. But Terry's somebody that's been in the industry forever and just educated so many people and helped so many people, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then Steve, you on your side with all the education and everything that you do and how you've
and the committees and the legislation and all that stuff that you do in the background
is just absolutely amazing. So let me ask you a question. You guys have been in the industry for a while, and maybe we start with you, Steve. What does that recognition mean to you?
It took a while to sink in. So like Terry, although you guys had help from Todd, and I don't remember, he had some reason we needed to go up there, and I was honestly dumbfounded. I did not understand what was going on. And I saw the gold jackets, and I honestly don't remember because I was so shocked. I'm so honored by this because I consider myself just a pool guy. I did go to college, but I didn't graduate. I was too busy in the pool business. I was a lab tech and have been the hands-on. Maybe you see it in the boot camp stuff we're doing, just where the rubber meets the road. And I would say that's the most common thing in driving of my 40-year career. It was 40 years, March 1st for me. And the whole time being hands-on and looking what can be done now in the near term that makes a difference for the companies that I've worked for. I've always been an employee, which I think was shocking. I guess we both have that in common. But thank you, I guess, is the only thing I know how to say. But everything that we're involved with is really on where does it impact the pool pro, the pools, even the codes and standards and laws. Is the focus there are minimum standards so that we don't hurt anyone, but let's get rid of all the fluff. Let's keep it to let pool pros and the education. I think that's what you see me involved in, everything from the lab to the products, the testing, the education, the codes, the standards, and lobbying on Capitol Hill to say we need minimum standards, but let's stop there and let's let education take over. And AquaStar is just an amazing opportunity to facilitate and support all of that. I still can't quite get my head around Hall of Fame. Have you people met me?
One of the biggest things for us, especially with the Hall of Fame, is normally you reserve it for people that are retired, that are no longer doing their trade. And for us, it was very important that not be the case.
I'm a big fan of the alive part of this, by the way. I'm just going to go, I'm all in on the alive part, so.
But it was a big deal for us to make sure that the people get recognized. And I think it all came from the loss of Bob.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we did the first Pool Nation Awards. And here you got a guy that's been in the industry for 40 years and never been recognized. And so we knew going into the Pool Nation Awards, that was very important to us. But then for those of you that don't know that are listening to the Instagram Live, we honored Bob with the Lifetime Achievement Award at the very first Pool Nation Awards.
Here in Dallas.
Yeah. And Terry and I were talking about it today, and we'll share about that in just a second. But I'm drawing a blank because I'm getting ready to spill the tea that we went to go look at venues for the after party. So we wanted to celebrate Bob, and Bob couldn't make it because he was not doing well. He was ill.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, the night that we honored Bob Lowry with the Lifetime Achievement Award, that night he passed away. And Terry and I were talking about it, and Terry's a man of faith and I'm a man of faith. And we truly believe that Bob was still alive, and it's almost like he knew, because it wasn't till almost, John, we were walking from the Omni to the parking lot. And that's what Terry and I were sharing today. I hadn't been to the Omni into that area since then. And I went there today, and all I could remember was the walk. And I remember walking, wearing the tuxedo, not wearing my bow tie, having a conversation with John and Janie about how great the night went, how we were just on such this high, and then get that unfortunate phone call. And then I had to drive home for 35 minutes. But that cemented the legacy of what we wanted to do. And then at that moment was when we really said, we need to do something, and we need to make it better, and we need to make sure that the people are still in the industry, that they're still alive, and that they get the recognition that they deserve.
Yeah, no, you nailed it when you said it. Bob, in his video, when he addressed us accepting the award, when he said that this is the first time in his career, you know, that he was being recognized, and we were just blown away, right? At that fact of what? Like, how can somebody who's given so much to the industry not get any recognition over the years? And so we put our heads together and we said, look, this got to stop here. And, you know, if we can do something about it, this is what we're going to do. And this is where we're at. I'm excited about it. I really am. And I'm looking forward to the future inductees to the Hall of Fame.
So these gentlemen are going to get new jackets for the next one. So they went out, got measured today. So we're excited about that. Let me do a couple of shout outs. And then, Terry, I'm going to ask you a question because they're not letting it go. They're already asking about the venue. They're already like, wait, stop. Tell us. Hey, Big Golden State, shout out to you. Coastal Cactus is getting ready, John, to hire his first pool tech. So big shout out. We're going to have to connect for sure. Let's see. Senandel Pool Supplies, what's going on? Jaden, what's going on? Big shout out to you. LA Pool Heroes, Christina, big shout out to you. Isaac LaPiccolo, Mr. Anthony LaPiccolo, very special night. And he won Pool Guy of the Year at the very first Pool Nation Awards. So big shout out to you out there. Appreciate that, Anthony. Terry, I think I'm going to let you spill the tea on some of the venues that we saw today and, you know, kind of share.
Yeah, and I'm just glad to be here. I don't like the heat, but other than that, it's okay. The food is good. Yeah, it was fun. We went and checked out some venues. I don't know if I can say what the venues are. Is that going to be too much tea to spill? But they were very cool venues. The first one we went to was actually a living, working train station, Union Station.
That's a cool spot.
That is a very cool spot.
Very cool spot. Yeah, I got a real jazz vibe out of that. I was thinking 1930s jazz, and it was really cool. Just the architecture, the trains, and they had separate rooms, and they were telling me a cigar room, and we can roll cigars here and smoke them out here.
They've got this big, huge balcony out there.
Big, huge balcony. Overlooks Dallas. You can see all of Dallas and everything out there, the downtown skyscape, and very cool place.
That's basically what used to be in the top of Reunion Tower. It's a Wolfgang Puck thing.
Yeah. They still had the Wolfgang Puck stuff in there.
Yeah.
I didn't know where that voice was coming from. I thought it was God. It's just Spidey. All right. So anyway, that was a really cool venue, and that's within walking of the Omni and all that, the convention center. Then we went to Gillies.
Mm-hmm.
And what I liked about Gillies was they had a lot to offer in the way of different venues and stuff like that. I guess if you like Urban Cowboy, then they have the bull that John Travolta's butt was on during the filming, if that means anything to anybody. But it was there. But it's a cool venue, and then there was a lot of kind of in and out stuff there.
And let's give out a shout out to Laura because she was there, and I have a picture of it, which I'm going to share here in a second. I have a picture of her on that bull.
Okay. Great. Yeah, Laura Evans with Arinda Hassa. She does the marketing and stuff, and definitely involved in just making sure we get everything cool on that party. It's a great after party. So Gillies was...
That neighborhood is way nicer than it used to be, too. It used to be the hood over there, and they've totally redeveloped it, and it's beautiful over there now.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice, and everything they had there was pretty cool. We went to a place called the Backyard. That's what it's called?
The Backyard, yeah.
And that was a cool place. Whole different vibe, but it's very sports bar-y, gamey, fun, beer pong tables everywhere. Yeah, that kind of thing. They had like paintings of dogs like all over on the walls, which was really cool looking, like kind of psychedelic and everything.
It was a cool venue.
It was a very cool venue and very open and just
fresh.
You got a good vibe when you walked in there. Like, hey, man, this looks fun. And they had TVs everywhere. So that was like very cool. Yeah.
It's funny. So over here I'm in for the cigar room. A big shout out to First.
Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. U.S. Motors Neptune Variable Speed Motor provides a versatile replacement solution for all your pool pump motor needs. This motor can communicate with pool control systems, provide low voltage options to work with time clocks, and can be installed as a standalone pump motor. The Neptune motor can be easily installed on existing pumps, upgrading them to a variable speed pump without the need for replumbing. Enjoy energy savings and quiet operation by installing a Neptune Variable Speed Motor today. For more information and to find your local distributor, visit usmotors.com/pool. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Meet the pipeline pump from AquaStar Pool Products, the next generation of variable speed pumps designed for serious efficiency. At its core is a high-performance permanent magnet motor that's totally enclosed and fan-cooled, delivering consistent energy-saving operation. Paired with AquaStar's patented high-efficiency volute design, the pipeline pump maintains optimal flow while cutting down on energy use. And it's not just efficient, it's incredibly quiet. Thanks to a high-tech rubber motor mount that absorbs vibrations and dampens sound, the pipeline runs smooth and quiet by limiting turbulence. Its 2.5-inch internal frame ensures unrestricted water flow, and it's available in both 1.5 HP and 3.0 HP models, each with 2-inch and 2.5-inch union fittings for flexible and efficient installation. Experience the pipeline difference, incredibly quiet operation, peak efficiency, and proven performance. Ask your supplier for the pipeline pump from AquaStar. Available now. Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC. The next evolution in lighting is here. Universal Color Logic 2.0 from Hayward. The latest in pool and spa lighting was designed with you in mind, making installation a breeze. Upgrades include a detachable cord and first-of-a-kind adjustable lower catch to overcome variations in plaster thickness. As always, Universal Color Logic lights retrofit into virtually any in-ground pool or spa while delivering industry-leading, vibrant color. Visit Hayward.com to discover more.
Today, we are back live after a couple weeks, so really excited about that. We're talking about business efficiency, and we're actually doing a little series on a couple of these. And back from retirement, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, do I have a drum roll? Oh, there you go. Our boy, Zach, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it?
That's it, right? It's been like 14 weeks.
So nothing's changed, right? No,
See, you hit the ground running, baby.
I got to restart. It's been a while, but it's been a crazy summer with the hurricane. We're finally back on track. We've got a lot of cool things going on. I've been so busy. I've barely talked to either one of you, but it's been a good few weeks. I was just talking to John before we went live. I've gone through like this revamping of myself phase where it was just like, got to get back to my bedtime. And so I don't know if y'all have noticed. Yeah, I'm back to my bedtime. I'm getting up early, hitting the gym, no energy drinks. So I'm feeling really good. And we hired a service manager. So that's been a huge step for us. And we've been working on the onboarding of her and getting her in tune with our processes. And so far, really kicking butt. And I'm excited about that. And last, I need like a drum roll.
Let me see if I have one. Hold on. No, I don't. Let's see.
Are you kidding me?
Wait, I'll get it.
Wow.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but that's the only one I have.
Finally got a truck.
Yes.
And John and I are super excited for you.
Yes,
we're
very
here.
excited. We're relieved.
It's done.
Yes.
That's the word. We're relieved that you bought a truck. Of course. John, did you hear? He's like, I got this truck, sent the pictures, did all that kind of stuff. And then 3 texts down, he goes, I get a new engine.
I know.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, right? Look, it's taken him 2 years to finally find the truck. He spent all his time and effort getting a certain type of truck, right? And then he switches over to a Toyota at the last minute, I wouldn't say spends a good amount of money on it. It's not a cheap truck by any means. It's a nice truck. And then says, I have to get a new motor.
Yep.
He did all his research and forgot to check the recalls.
Yeah.
I knew there was recalls, so that's why there was like 3 texts later, because I went straight to Toyota and I was like, all right, let's check all these. But to be honest, I'm like, I didn't take the depreciation and I'm going to have a 0-mile engine installed in it. So I felt like that was good karma.
That's pretty good.
No, it's good. Having a new motor is great. It's just a little scary. We actually had to do that on the Mustang that we got, the Leah, that we're giving to Bobby. The kids screwed up the car, but we ended up putting a brand new motor in it, which turned out to be okay for us. But you know what they say sometimes, the transmission has a lot of miles on it and the motor, and they don't really match up. And then it puts a lot of wear on one or the other. And then you can have some issues. But then again, I'm not really a car guy or a mechanic when it comes down to that. I just hope your transmission doesn't.
I wish everybody could see Zach's face.
I'm going to break the transmission.
The face of panic just kicked in.
There's no way you're going to break it the way you drive.
Oh.
Dude, that transmission is going to last like 600,000 miles, bro.
The transmission will stay intact. They'll blow through 5 engines.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful truck, and congratulations, brother. I'm glad you picked it up and got it. Now, I am the Dodge guy, but it is still a good looking truck. For
Yeah,
sure.
Zach is a major Toyota guy. So, hey, big shout out to our friend Corey Wax that is on there. Big shout out to you, brother. I do have to tell both of you, I don't know what it is about. Like when we do the live, it just completely energizes me. It just completely, and we were missing Zach for a while, right? So he wasn't on and was like, part of the energy is missing when one of us is not doing the podcast.
100%. Just feel like we're just chilling and having fun and talking shop and shooting the shit.
Talking about Zach's new truck that needs a new engine. So how you doing, John?
I'm doing all right. Day 10.
It's super excited for you, bro. I even told you this morning, day 10, baby.
Yeah, day 10. So double digits. I'm screaming in the morning, like 5:30 in the morning, saying double digits. And
Wakes everybody up.
Oh, the kids hate me because I have no regards, right, for anybody in the house but me when I'm up, right? And it's like, no, but God forbid anybody else make any noise while I'm sleeping or I'm laying down and relaxing, right? Everybody's like tiptoeing around and they're like quiet as church mice, and they're really careful when they're opening up cabinets or in the middle of the night, because God forbid if they're loud enough to where I have to get up out of bed and get out of my room to go into one of their rooms, they know all hell breaks loose, right? That's when computers get unplugged and thrown up against the wall, and iPads get like ninja starred into the drywall. I've taken an iPad and I've broken it over my knee before. I've taken another tablet and I've just completely crushed it back in the day when the kids were younger and they're up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they got school the next day and they're thinking they're slick and doing whatever. And oh yeah, it's just
why your bones hurt, bro.
Probably, right? Probably.
It's not coming back now. Oh, that's awesome.
I'm doing great.
Good. And it's weird because we haven't done a podcast in 2 or 3 weeks, whatever it is. And it just, there's something that's missing by the end of the week when we do all that kind of stuff. And obviously we had to do the podcast tonight, which is Thursday instead of Friday at our normal time, because tomorrow morning I got to jump up and drive all the way to OU to go switch cars, which by the way, John, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, I'll just give Brianna my truck and I'll bring her car down. And then it dawned on me, I need the truck for the Women's Summit for all the letters and all the stuff that we got going on. So I go to Leanna and go, I think I screwed up because I need the truck. So luckily Zach is coming up with his truck.
With the baby truck.
The baby truck. Yeah, he's not bringing. Yeah, he's worried about the motor. Oh, so you should come up with that motor. Bring it up.
I don't want to be stranded halfway to Dallas.
So if it hasn't broken down now, by now,
I
it's
know.
not
I
gonna break
thought that.
down.
I thought about that, but
You know?
yeah.
So does it have a big bed in the back?
It has a huge bed in the back.
A huge bed? That's the one you need to bring. No, I'm just kidding. With my luck, you'll break down and then you'll be all mad at me.
Recall has to be pretty significant for them to replace the whole motor, right? That's a very expensive recall.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Zach, you should at least post a truck so everybody could figure out that you got a truck, because you've talked about it so much on lives and Instagrams that now we're going to talk about it. And people are like, where the hell's the pictures at? Great looking pink truck, buddy. Looks good. Anyways, gentlemen, let's get through some things. So nominations closed yesterday at 9 o'clock, right after our Instagram live. Let's see, to stop sell on the Tundras because of, oh yeah, for sure. Like Tundras really stopped selling because of that. That was a huge hit for them. Nominations closed, gentlemen.
Sounds like a truck I'd want to buy. You know what I mean?
We want to talk statistics here.
I'm sorry, I think this is why we miss you so much, especially Zach. You know, it gets old ragging on Edgar or Edgar beating.
I'm not as fun as to rag on.
But having you, because you're such a good sport, I think that's what we were lacking here. You should feel very good about spending all that money on.
Yeah, absolutely. All $22,000 that you spent on that new truck. You should.
A lot more than $22,000. Yeah.
Anyways, gentlemen, let's get started. So we've talked about a couple of different things, and John and I talked about it a little bit on the last Instagram Live. And we had somebody that reached out to us, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background, but he sent some information and said, hey guys, thanks for everything that you do. A buddy of mine told me about you and told me to listen to your podcast and lives, and I have a question on operational efficiency. I have a small company and need to work on my operation and how to make it better. It's just me and 2 guys. My biggest struggle is focusing on where to get started. I've only been doing this for 2 years and have grown a bit fast, so trying to figure all of this out. Zachy, I know that you were out. John and I attacked this question a little bit differently. And so we put our hats on of back to the beginning days, right? And so we were like, John, if we were starting all over again, but knowing what we know now, what would be some of the key points and what would be some of those things that we think that we should have started with? And obviously we came up with some points and put them in a certain order. It doesn't mean that they have to go in this order, but I think John and I agree a little bit of the importance of them and being able to attack these early on, because you wait 5 years and then you have to come back and fix these things. And then it's 10 times harder to come back and fix these things, because what John says, you have to unlearn what you've already learned to start all over again. And so the first one that we started talking about, Zach, is we started talking about really that efficient route planning, right? So you're starting in the business, you really don't have a focus on the route and how to set up the route and where you should stop and how far you should go. And so it was really important, because for me, one of the thing was I had a lot of pools that were out there far. I kept growing, but then you start to realize you got to drive really far to do those pools. You're wasting a lot of time. Then at that point, 3-4 years into it, you have to start getting rid of those pools. And it's easier said than done to just go, oh, there's those 3 pools that I got to drive 40 minutes for. Let me just drop them or sell them or whatever. It's not as easy. So we started with that aspect of the operation and really looking at route management. And then the other thing that we talked about was going back and revisiting it every so often and fine tuning that process within your company. So I want to start talking about that and talk about that route efficiency. And I think it might seem like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but it's actually a huge deal.
Yeah, this is one of the most impactful things. We talked about low-hanging fruit and things that we can accomplish easily. And this is one thing that we can all control at any size of business. It doesn't matter if you have a small route or a large route. This is something that can give you more time and revenue to grow your company with. And I've talked about it in the past when I started building a route back in 2015. I was really anxious to get it growing. And so I took on every pool that I could pick up, and there was no planning around the location of the pools that I picked up. I did that for about a year and a half, and then I stopped doing the route. It was really overwhelming, and I went back into full-time repairs because that's what I knew and did for so long. And when we got to 2018, we decided to take another shot at building the route. And one of my top priorities going into it was that we had to be strategic about where we were willing to take pools on. And this meant that we had to say no to a lot of potential customers. And that was really hard because we wanted to get this thing going and people are calling, but we were like, nope, we got to draw a hard line somewhere. When I went into it this time, I knew how much value there was in limiting the distance and the areas that we would go to service pools. And for the first thing, it saved us a ton of time that was being wasted driving to these faraway pools that were super spread out. And I knew the more time we were spending behind the wheel driving around, that was less time that we had to make money. And we could be spending that time in backyards actually delivering a service. And not only did it to save us time, it had a lot of extra benefits to it, and it saved us on wasted operational costs, like the fuel to get there and the wear and tear on. I mean, that's a lot of miles to be putting on these vehicles, and it adds up quick. And if you have multiple vehicles, it just compounds from there. So things like that. So it is something that I don't think a lot of people consider at first because we're so hungry to get these pools on route. But I think it's something very important. And I learned the hard way by doing it the hard way in the beginning.
Yeah, let's not kid ourselves. If you really sit back and take a look at it, our most precious commodity is time, right? And as a business owner and being in the pool industry and having employees and servicing customers, more time that you can free up creates more revenue for your company, right? Because if you have more time on your hands, then you're able to service more clients and to bring in more revenue. We don't necessarily really appreciate or realize how much time we're wasting from inefficiencies that we have on a day-to-day basis because we fall into these pitfalls or these traps where we get that go get them or that gopher attitude. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, and I want it. And you build this jungle around you, right? Where that you have to weave through every single day. And it makes it very frustrating sometimes. And you can all look back and we look at our routes and I go back, I love my Wednesday route. On Wednesday route, I happen to do the most pools that day, but I love it because it's the tightest route. And I know when I'm there and I go and I can hit all these pools and I can take care of all these accounts and still finish my day very soon. And then allows me to spend more time to be able to do installs, to be able to call customers back, to do emails or whatever else I need to do so that I can grow my business. But you can never stop refining your route or being better at managing your time. And the amount of money that we've saved over the years, because this was a priority for us, it's almost mind-boggling. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars over time because we had to drop clients because it wasn't cost effective to service them.
Yeah.
Where sometimes we have clients that we're charging $500 a month for. And I'm thinking, but when you time and you think, I'm charging, and this was years ago when the going rate where we're at is $90 or $100 for twice a week. And I'm thinking I'm a superstar charging $400 or $500 for once a week to take care of this property. But it so happened to be 45 minutes out of my way, go back and forth, the amount of time that I spent on the property, the amount of headaches from the customer calling me back, the chems that we use. At the end of the day, I was making more money on a pool at that time that we were charging $150 for. that month. And it was an eye opener. And I'm thinking, wow, because if I take into consideration, I lose this account at $500, but now I save the amount of chemicals I used at that pool was equivalent to 3 other pools.
And the time.
And then now you add the time, right? And that I can take care of 3 or 4 other pools in that amount of time, because I'm 45 minutes of driving and then another 45 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever at the best on my best day being there. It's an hour and 15 minutes that I'm dedicating, an hour and a half I'm dedicating each week plus chems. It just didn't make sense. But unless you sit down and truly analyze your business or analyze your route and the customers, and every second of every day, you should know and go over it with a fine detail or fine comb and figure it all out. And when you do, you'll start to see that, hey, look, man, one, I get to free up more time so I can do more things. I get to make more money while I'm doing it. And more importantly, I'm happier. And then that's us as business owners. Now imagine having an employee, and an employee that has to drive all the way out there to do that and take care of this pool, or to spend an extra. They can do 2 pools in the time that that one pool takes, or half their day is spent servicing 2-3 accounts when they can take care of 5 or 6 different accounts in substitute of it. When it comes down to like your employee morale, then how do you really put a figure on that? Because as business owners, sometimes don't take that into consideration. And Edgar, you brought that up on the live. You were talking about your employees, that when you had them, and the importance and of whether they were happy servicing that pool or taking care of it, and how their attitude shifts when you knock off one of these terrible accounts that they have or whatever. But I know I'm just rambling on right now. But again, I just can't tell you how liberating it is when you sit down and you look at it and you fine tune your route. It's scary at first because you don't want to lose these clients or to lose this income. But once you grasp the reality that you're actually making money by getting rid of these pools, or can make a lot more money if you take the step and drop these pools, or hopefully you can just refine it. And sometimes we find ourselves, and we've done it before too, where I was like, why on earth are we servicing this pool on Friday? Who on earth set this pool up to service on Friday when we should be doing it on Monday because so-and-so drives right by it? But we do it on this day because it just so happened at that moment we were free and we had an opening. And so we just stuck it in any day we possibly could. And then it ended up being the worst decision and it ended up costing us money. And if we don't go back and reevaluate our routes like we do now every 2-3 months, then you get dug up in this hole where you become very inefficient.
Yeah. And we talked about it, but obviously one of the biggest things is when you're new into the industry, one of the biggest things that you need to realize is time is money. And so if you're sitting in a truck and you're driving, or if you have employees and they're driving, anytime that they drive, they're sucking your profitability out, right? Because they could be doing something. You could be productive. You could be doing something. So if you have them driving 20 minutes to a pool, they go in to service their pool and they drive 20 minutes back, that's 40 minutes. That's 40 minutes that your profit has just disintegrated because they're not actually doing something. So drive time is the enemy of your profit, right? It's the enemy of you making money. So I want you to think of the fact that every time that you put somebody to drive for an hour to go do a job, you're losing money, right? And you're not losing money on the job. Don't misunderstand me, but that drive time is inefficient and it's costing you money. So you need to look at your routes and you need to make sure that you have your routes as tight as possible so that there's no time gaps of all that driving so that you can put those things or those people to do other jobs. And we're going to talk about that, about how to manage, especially the routes. And Zach, I'll pick your brain a little bit as to how do you set up a guy, even if they're going to go do a repair, how do you manage that? How do you make that part more efficient to be able to get more jobs out of that area that you're in? But remember, people, if you're spending a lot of time driving, that's costing you money.
Yeah, and I think the recurring theme here is going to be time is money. And it took me years to realize that. And one day it just clicked. And it was less time on the road meant more time to get work done, which meant more revenue. And when we figured this out, we started looking at it.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation Podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or PoolNationPodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at pool.nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to poolinvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolManUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolManUniversity.com.